come back to that. Now, when you said this is our 1776 moment, you knew that some of the people who felt that Donald Trump was the rightful winner of the 2020 election used that term to refer to the possibility of violence on January 6th, 2021.
No, I never heard anyone talking about violence for January 6th.
You've never
Absolutely
heard anyone.
Not.
You've never heard about anyone using the term 1776 to refer to the possibility
I would
of...
never
Let me finish
use...
my question, Representative.
Okay, excuse me, sorry.
I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I
please don't cut me
apologize.
off.
Yeah.
You've never heard anybody use the term 1776 as a code word for violence to occur on January 6, 2021.
No, absolutely not.
You're familiar with a group called the Proud Boys?
I've heard of them.
And you know that the Proud Boys, it has developed, had a written plan for conduct on January 6, 2021, right?
No, I did not know that.
Okay. The Proud Boys are an extremist, violent group. You would agree with that?
I don't know much about the Proud Boys.
You've never heard that they're a violent extremist group?
I've heard about them. I don't know what they do. I don't know much about the Proud Boys.
And you haven't heard that the written plan attributed to the Proud Boys for January 6th was called 1776 Returns.
No,
Never
I
heard.
have no idea anything about that.
Never heard that. Okay. Let's pull up PX 39. This is an article that appeared in the New York Times on March 14, 2020, entitled "Document in Jan 6 Case Shows Plan to Storm Government Buildings." Do you see this document?
I've never seen it, no.
Let me get you a copy so you can have a look. Do you need the number? It's 30. Ms. Greene, did you see a story in the New York Times or in any other publication or media outlet in March of 2022 about the Proud Boys having a written plan to storm government buildings on January 6th?
No, I've never, I don't recall, never heard anything about it.
Never heard of that. Never heard that that was called 1776 Returns, that plan that the government alleges the Proud Boys had to storm government buildings.
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay. You were aware prior to January 6th that 1776 referred to an idea or a plan for people who were opposed to the certification of the Electoral College vote to infiltrate and occupy buildings in D.C.
No.
Never heard that.
No.
And you were aware prior to January 6, 2021, that 1776 was a term that people were using to describe a plan or an idea to physically interfere and prevent the Electoral College vote.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay. You can put that to one side. We talked a little bit about a person named Allie Alexander this morning. Do you remember that testimony?
Mm-hmm.
And you said somebody you've met on a number of occasions. Is that fair?
I've seen him a couple times. I don't remember when, and it's not someone I know.
Okay. Let's pull up 67, please. BS 67 as well. Ready? Let's just start. I'm going to ask you to have a look at just the first 10 seconds of the video. It's just a person not even speaking, and tell me if you can identify that person, okay? Do you know that person?
That's Ollie Alexander.
Let's go, thank you. Let's go to minute 11:20. This is a rather long clip, and I'm going to take you to the middle of it, around 11 minutes and 20 seconds.
For anything, go ahead. Members of Congress are on a committee. Congressman Steve King was the only one who was yanked off of all committees. So that's not true. So avoid the disinformation, avoid the division. We are here to continue pressing forward. Yeah, Congresswoman Marjorie Greene, my favorite, she's coming in, a friend of mine, she's coming in, she'll be whatever. Someone's trying to tell me.
You can stop it there. You see that Mr. Alexander describes you as his favorite, right? You heard him say that.
That's what he said. I just saw it.
Okay. Do you have any explanation for why you would feel that way?
Maybe he likes the work I do. I don't know. I don't really know him that well. I've only met him a couple of times.
He describes himself as you as a friend of his, right? That's what he said on the video.
Those were his words.
Right, that's what he said in the video. Is he lying when he describes himself as a friend of yours?
I wouldn't call him a friend. I do not know him. I've only met him a couple of times.
Okay. So if he says he was a friend of yours, he would be lying.
Sometimes people say things on videos for their followers or to maybe, I don't know. That's what he said. I don't know him. I've only met him a couple of times.
In fact, Mr. Alexander was very active on Twitter in the post-election 2020 period up until January 6th. Isn't that right?
I don't know. I don't follow his account.
Okay. Let's go to well, I think we've established that during that post-election period from November when you were elected until January 6th, one of the things you were doing was organizing people in Congress to file objections to the Electoral College count, right?
Yes, working very hard on objecting.
Okay. Let's go to PX3, please. As well as if you could scroll it up so that we can see the bottom half first. Yeah. Further down, please. I'll get you a paper copy. Ms. Greene, I want to focus your attention on the box in the middle of the page. It says Marjorie Taylor GRE ... 12/30/20. Do you see that?
Yes.
And that's a Twitter comment that you made on December 30th, 2020, right?
I don't recall making that tweet, but that's what this piece of paper says.
Okay. Do you have any doubt that a tweet from your account was issued on December 30th, 2020, that said, quote, "Word on the Hill is that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi could be working together on a rules change deal to block our Electoral College certification objection"?
I don't recall this tweet.
My question is a little bit different. Do you have any doubt that this is a tweet from your account?
I don't know.
Do you recall in late December of 2020 hearing a rumor on Capitol Hill about a deal between Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi to create a rules change so as to block the objections to the Electoral College count?
I can't really remember. It's been 16 months or so ago.
That would be pretty important, wouldn't it? If they changed the rules so that you couldn't object to the Electoral College count, right?
It would have been, but there was no rule change. We were still able to object, or at least we tried anyways.
But by this point in December of 2020, your focus was on objecting to the Electoral College count in Congress, right?
Yes, finding evidence of voter fraud and planning to object. Yes.
Okay. And if there had been rumors of a rule change, that would be something that would be important for you to tweet out and talk about publicly.
It possibly would have been. I just don't remember this tweet. I don't remember it.
You know that Ali Alexander has responded to tweets that you've sent out over the years, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea who retweets and who responds. That's not something that I spend much time at all looking at.
You spend some time looking at it, though, don't you, Representative Greene? Who responds to your tweets?
Occasionally, I have some time and I look at who responds, but I do not know what he has responded, what he has tweeted or retweeted.
Okay. And the reason that you look at responses to your tweets is you want to see how what you've said is being taken on board by other people. Is that fair?
Actually, I don't really look at comments on Twitter because they're filled with a lot of bots and a lot of hateful people, and I don't like to read things like that, so I don't read many comments, hardly ever.
Well, you read Mr. Alexander's response to your December 30th tweet that's shown in Exhibit 3, right? And just to read it out loud, what he writes is, "If they do this, everyone can guess what me and 500,000 others will do to that building. 1776 is always an option." You read that, didn't you?
If this is his Twitter, I see it on the screen. I have no idea. Those are his words, I guess. I have no idea.
Well, as you sit here today, you understand that what Mr. Alexander was referring to was not legal objections on the floor of the Congress, right?
No, I don't know what he's referring to.
Mm-hmm. And you knew back then that what Mr. Alexander was responding to your tweet was to say, if they make a rules change and Congresswoman Taylor Greene can't object, we're going to go into the Capitol and do violence.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about this.
And that term 1776 is the way Mr. Alexander was conveying that to his listeners or his readers.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about this. I've never seen it before.
Between January 3rd and January 6th, 2021, Ms. Greene, you viewed the Electoral College certification of Joe Biden as a blow to freedom. Is that fair?
I viewed it as we needed to object because there was so much evidence and so many people had signed their name. Thousands of people had signed their name on affidavits saying they witnessed voter fraud. And that meant something to me because I care about the people and I care about their votes and I care about our election integrity.
My question is whether you viewed it as a blow to freedom if the Electoral College certification of Joe Biden were completed.
I don't agree with your wording.
Okay. Because once freedom is gone, it doesn't come back by itself, right?
I don't agree with your wording.
The only way you can get freedom back is when it's earned with the price of blood. Those are your words, right?
You're twisting my words and creating a narrative that you're trying to make. That's not my narrative. That's not what I said.
Well,
That's
on
not what I
October
meant for
27,
that.
2020, that's what you said and that's what you meant, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. On October 27, 2020, when you did the interview with Mr. Dorr, when you said the only way to get freedoms back is when it's earned with blood, that's what you meant, right?
Well, you showed a video that's chopped up that doesn't show even my full sentences. So no, I don't agree with what you're saying.
Do you have any explanation, Representative Greene, for why it is that on January 5th, the day before January 6th, you described January 6th as our 17